colleagues. If you are in this part of the world, good afternoon. If you are in the Middle East, North Africa, Europe, Africa, and then good evening to colleagues in Asia. Welcome to our side event. I would like to welcome all of you to this session, to this side event on leveraging science, technology, and innovation to build more resilient food systems, the case of the Juncao technology. My name is Emson Sibanda, and I'm the Chief of National Strategies and Capacity Building Branch, Division for Sustainable Development Goals in the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs. But before we begin, I would like to remind you to keep your microphones muted at all times. Please use the chat box for questions and sharing any materials that you may have. As your moderator, I will select questions from the chat box towards the end of our discussions that we can pose to the panel. As the Secretariat of the High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development, we are excited about organizing this event that brings together our implementing partner, Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University, FAFU, and several countries that have been leveraging science, technology, and innovation to build more resilient food systems and to protect the environment through the adoption of the Juncao technology. The webinar will be recorded, and the recording will be made public after the meeting. We also have interpretation for English, French, and Chinese, so you can select your preferred language at the bottom right-hand side on your screen. With those few remarks, we have a video message introducing the Juncao technology that we would like to play first.
With an aim to eradicate rural poverty and protect the forest resources, Professor Li Jianxi of Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University, FAFU of China in 1983, carried out research on the cultivation of edible and medicinal mushrooms by using wild grasses and cultivated herbaceous plants instead of broadleaf trees. In 1986, he successfully invented the Juncao technology. At present, 46 species of Juncao grass, like Miscanthus floridulus, Aralda, and the Panicetum family, have already been selected as main materials for cultivation of 56 kinds of edible and medicinal mushrooms, such as Pleurotus austratus, Pleurotus erangii, Agaricus bisporus, Flammulina velutypes, Gonodema lucidum, and etc. Mushrooms can be processed into highly value-added tiny food products, and even the spent substrates can still be processed into functional feed and feed additives. It creates a positive production cycle of grass, mushroom, and livestock. Juncao technology refers to the techniques that utilizes grass as raw material through the decomposition, promotion, and symbiosis functions of fungi to produce mushrooms, functional food, feed, fertilizer, biomass energy, biological materials, and to be applied in environmental protection and ecological treatment. Juncao technology has the advantages of low investment, quick returns, and high economic benefits. Farmers can generate income in 7 to 10 days after planting mushroom substrate packs, and 1,200 kilos of fresh mushroom can be produced annually in a land of 10 square meters. For a 1-hectare Juncao mushroom farm, the annual output value is about $300,000 and provides at least 30 job opportunities. Some of the Juncao grass species are high-quality feed sources. For example, the crude protein content of the giant Juncao grass is 8 to 16%, and the annual yield of fresh grass is 450 tons per hectare, which is sufficient to feed 30 cattle or 300 sheep. Juncao grass has also been applied to ecological management, such as soil erosion control, desertification control, saline alkaline soil management, and rehabilitation of obsolete mines. In the Yellow River Basin, Qinghai Tibet Plateau, and some arid and semi-arid areas of China, a few Juncao grass species are applied as pioneer plants. After 100 days, one node of giant Juncao grass will grow into a clump with about 10 to 12 tutors, and the root system can fix sand in surrounding 15 square meters space. In Rwanda and Lesotho, Juncao grass was planted to control soil erosion, compared with the local corn planting field. The soil loss reduced by more than 97%, and the water loss reduced by more than 80%. Juncao technology demonstration bases have been established in 13 countries, including Papua New Guinea, Fiji, Rwanda, Lesotho, South Africa, and others, and enable farmers who lack land resources, educational opportunities, and production skills to have new ways to increase their income and eradicate poverty.
When I produce like 6,000, I have a profit of 1 million.
I already sold 86 kilos of mushroom from here, and I get more than $1,000 from here. And some mushrooms I gave it to friends and relatives free for them to try how mushroom tastes like.
Farfu has disseminated Juncao technology to 106 countries. Since 1995, Farfu has conducted 242 international training courses, held 17 international symposiums, provided 24 international postgraduate students scholarships for the Juncao technology, and also, in cooperation with foreign universities, offered Juncao science courses.
I had to make follow-up to make sure that this technology is implemented in my country, Tanzania, and that was my wish.
A number of Juncao entrepreneurs and research talents from Sri Lanka, Nigeria, Egypt, Brazil, and many other countries who have been trained in Farfu National Juncao Research Center are playing an active and important role in the development of the Juncao industry in their respective countries. The Juncao technology originates in China, but it serves the whole of humanity. The Juncao team is committed to the mission of develop Juncao industry to benefit all humankind and devote ourselves to achieve sustainable development goals.
Thank you, Roshi, for playing that video. Now to kickstart our discussions, I invite Mr. Alex Trepelkov to set the stage by making some opening remarks. Mr. Trepelkov is the officer in charge of the Division for Sustainable Development Goals in the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs. From 2010 to 2018, he served as Director of the Financing for Development Office of UNDESA. Mr. Trepelkov, you have the floor.
Thank you, Amson. Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, I'm very pleased to welcome you to this online high-level event on leveraging science, technology, and innovation to build more resilient food systems, the case of the Juncao technology. We're meeting at a critical moment. The COVID-19 pandemic has reversed many development gains of the past decades and has set back the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development everywhere. The combined health, social, and economic impact of the pandemic has outpaced any other crisis in recent history. The pandemic has also undermined the food security of millions of people around the world hitting the most vulnerable the hardest. In the face of these unprecedented challenges, science, technology, and innovation must be at the center of COVID-19 recovery efforts that would move us closer to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. There is a need for a long-term, multi-sectoral, and bold response and recovery plan that would include the transfer of appropriate technologies such as the Juncao technology to support the most vulnerable and affected countries and peoples, leaving no one behind. Our recovery efforts should aim at rebuilding a more sustainable, resilient, and equitable economy and society that would prioritize investments in areas such as food systems, climate change mitigation, social protection, and tackling inequalities between and within countries. Even before the pandemic, such initiatives were put forward. The 2019 Global Sustainable Development Report, written by a group of independent scientists, stressed that we were off track in addressing critical areas like climate change, biodiversity loss, and inequalities. The scientists identified entry points for transformation, including food systems and nutrition patterns, where interlinkages among the SDGs are especially strong and where actions can harness synergies to accelerate progress with due regard to specific contexts. They urged for the need to utilize new technologies to manage trade-offs among goals, but they also warned that successful application of technologies required coordinated efforts with other levels of change like governance, business and finance, and individual. The UN Food Systems Summit, coming up in the fall, aims to further advance thinking and action to transform food systems and tap into synergies among the SDGs, while also motivating coordinated action. National dialogues are taking place around the world in the lead up to the summit to encourage new partnerships and share knowledge about promising initiatives and technologies such as the Juncao technology. Right now, there is a global audience eager to learn more about technologies that can be applied in food systems to generate synergies, to end poverty and hunger, support climate action and gender equality, and protect ecosystems. The Multi-Stakeholder Forum on Science, Technology, and Innovation for the SDGs, held last May, confirmed that progress towards sustainable, resilient, and equitable recovery would depend on scaling up and sharing effective technologies for food production, especially for small-scale farmers. Our discussions today provide a timely opportunity for an exchange of national experiences on how initiatives and partnerships linked to STI can contribute to the achievement of the SDGs through synergies while facilitating knowledge transfer and offering space for networking. Distinguished participants, the Juncao technology brings multiple benefits to SDG implementation at large in more than 100 countries across the world. From China, Qinghai Tibet Plateau, the Yellow River Basin, to the upstream river banks of the Nile River and the South African Plateau, the Juncao grass has been used to combat land degradation and desertification, conserve water, and restore and maintain soil fertility. In the process, Juncao grass has been used for mushroom production, animal feed, and biomass fuel, contributing to progress in achieving various SDGs, particularly the eradication of poverty and hunger, the empowerment of women, environmental protection, and sustainable energy. By supporting mushroom cultivation, this technology is boosting food security and nutrition and the transition to a green economy through environmentally friendly technology, more sustainable agriculture, and green jobs. The economic benefits from Juncao's technology are likewise remarkable. Country experiences show that farmers who have learned to plant Juncao grass have successfully expanded livestock production, have grown nutritious mushroom for meeting demands of local and regional markets, and have created jobs and income streams. Ladies and gentlemen, the Juncao project, which was launched in 2017 with generous support from the People's Republic of China, underscores the importance of technology transfer through South-South, North-South, and triangular cooperation for the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The first phase of the project was implemented between May 2017 and June 2021. The second phase will last from July 2021 to June 2024 and cover more countries globally. Together with the Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University, we will organize online training courses, workshops, and study tours to promote the transfer and application of the Juncao technology. We also hope to provide small research grants to local experts in the project countries, strengthening national institutional capacity to conduct research on localizing the Juncao technology and offer extension services to the farmers. Dear colleagues, we need agri-food systems that are more efficient, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. UNDESA stands ready to collaborate with all stakeholders to enhance knowledge sharing and strengthen national capacities of developing countries for sustainable production, income generation, and entrepreneurship by using the Juncao technology. I look forward to a fruitful discussion today. Thank you for your patience. Over to you, Hans.
Thank you, Mr. Trepakov, for those opening remarks. I now would like to invite our first speaker, Professor Lin Shanxi, to deliver his keynote speech. Professor Lin is the inventor of the Juncao technology and the chief scientist of China National Engineering Research Center of Juncao Technology. He also serves as the supervisor for doctoral candidates at Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University. His invention has now been adopted in over 100 countries, benefiting large numbers of smallholder farmers and entrepreneurs. His students affectionately refer to him as the father of Juncao technology. For his contribution to advancing science, technology, and innovation for the benefit of society, Professor Lin received the Most Outstanding Contributor to Poverty Alleviation with Scientific and Technical Services Award in China. I now invite Professor Lin to deliver his keynote remarks.
尊敬的联合国经社亚历山大先生、叶先生、北地农业部常秘达斯先生、巴生东高地省省长彼得先生、卢旺达农业部派崔克博士、巴西伊朗教授、女士们、先生们，大家好。很高兴能和50多个国家的朋友们共同参加 由联合国经社部可持续发展目标室主办的这次盛会。38年前，为中国贫困地区的农民摆脱贫困，我开始了以草代木栽培食药用菌的研究。1986年获得了成功。成功后呢，通过主办培训班和建立示范点的方法，使菌草技术广泛应用于贫困地区，开辟了一条经济效益高、生态效益好的多快好省的新途径。现在呢，已经拓展到以草代粮发展畜业、以草代木制纤维板、生产纸浆、以草代煤发电等领域。在福建农林大学主办了菌草技术骨干培训班120期，培训学员6869人次。菌草技术已在中国的500多个县市应用，成为扶贫的特色产业，为中国扶贫起了积极的作用。1994年，为了应对人类共同的挑战——贫困、饥饿和气候变化，中国政府把菌草技术列为发展中国家实用技术培训班的项目。迄今为止，主办国际培训班266期，为106个国家培训学员11112人次。根据各国的发展菌草产业的实际需要，提供技术支持，提供菌草草种、菌草食药用菌菌种。1997年，中国福建省政府和巴布亚新几内亚东高地省合作，在巴生鲁法区开展菌草技术的演示，获得了成功。在习近平主席的亲自推动下，在巴布亚新几内亚、斐济、中非3个国家建立了菌草技术示范培训基地。2017年，菌草技术被列为联合国和平发展基金重点推进项目，推动了菌草技术在世界各地的应用。迄今，已在世界13个国家建立菌草技术示范培训基地，已有15种的语言文字在传播菌草技术。25年来，在世界各地的应用实践表明，菌草技术是一项着重扶贫、保护生态和促进可持续发展的综合性技术，助力有关国家消除贫困和饥饿，促进粮食安全，增加就业，应对气候变化和保护生态环境，服务联合国2030年可持续发展议程中的13个可持续发展目标。菌草技术在应用推广方面也取得了成功的经验，就是选择适合的地区，建立示范基地，由经过系统学习的人员作为基地项目的实施骨干，然后呢，辐射到有关社区，建立旗舰点、合作社，组织农户参与菌草生产，创新了菌草技术的推广模式，并使技术本土化、简便化、标准化、系统化，从而破解了菌草技术正村到户难、实现可持续发展难的2大难题。参加项目实施的农户通过利用先进实用的菌草技术，提高了摆脱贫困的能力。各国都有大批农户增加 收入大幅度的增加，有的甚至增加1倍甚至几倍不等。今天，在各国还在面临新冠肺炎挑战，在这背景条件下，我们在云端共聚、交流探讨如何在后疫情时代应用菌草技术发展菌草产业，在缓解疫情带来的不利因素和落实联合国2030年可持续发展议程提供了实实在在的可复制的菌草方案。祝大会圆满成功，谢谢。
Thank you, Professor Lin, for those inspirational remarks. Because of your tireless efforts and those of your colleagues at FAFU, Juncao technology bases have been established in 13 countries, including Fiji, Papua New Guinea, and Rwanda. Today, we are honored to have senior government officials from these 3 countries to share their Juncao stories. Our lead-off speaker is Mr. Ritesh Das, who is the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fiji. Mr. Das has over 22 years of experience serving in multiple strategic roles with leading multinational companies and has worked in Fiji, Solomon Islands, and New Zealand. In 2019, the Ministry of Agriculture of Fiji announced optimizing the use of Juncao grass to enhance livestock production as one of the 5 new initiatives to be implemented. Local livestock companies have planted Juncao grass to solve the shortage of green feed in the dry season. Mr. Das, the floor is yours and your 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Representatives from UN member states, UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, and other UN organizations, Professor Lin Zhanzi, Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University, representatives from civil society organizations, private sector, academia, agriculture, food and nutrition experts, fellow panelists, excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Pula Vinaka and greetings from Fiji. Thank you for the opportunity to participate in this important forum and for allowing me to provide an insight on achievements of implementing Juncao technology with a particular focus on transforming agriculture and promoting the implementation of 2030 agenda. The agriculture sector remains the backbone of Fiji's economy since independence. Hence, its impact cuts across all sectors and individuals in our developing nation. The continuous increase of our total population and other factors such as climate change and rural-urban migration puts more pressure on farmers and key stakeholders to perform in a sustainable manner than ever before. The overall mandate of the Ministry of Agriculture is to provide food and nutrition security, income and employment through modernized and resilient agricultural sector. These directions is guided by strategic priorities that ensures food and nutrition security, improved livelihood, climate-smart agriculture, sustainable land management, and commercial agriculture development. Embedded in these priorities is the introduction and implementation of Juncao program in Fiji. The China-Fiji Juncao Technology Demonstration Center project was initiated by both leaders of China and Fiji. The project was the outcome of an economic and technological cooperation signed on 5th of September 2011 between Fiji and the Government of People's Republic of China. Its subsequent contract was signed on April 29, 2014. The current mushroom project implemented by the ministry is the outcome of this engagement between the Ministry of Agriculture and Juncao team from China, with its key objective being expanding mushroom and Juncao production in Fiji, providing hands-on training to interested farmers and technical staff, providing technical assistance, and distributing mushroom starter boxes to farmers and interested stakeholders. The aim of the project is to ensure that Fijians have access to food and nutrition security and later venture into commercial agriculture. Juncao Technology Program in Fiji is implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture through organized training practical demonstration that is shared through extension services. This project aims to provide employment opportunities, income generation, reduce inequality, protecting the environment, and ensuring sustainability. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Fiji's Juncao project was implemented in 2 phases. The first phase included the construction of the demonstration center from 2014 to 2016. The Ministry of Agriculture, through this phase, provided land and its clearing, installation of electricity and water source during the construction, and accommodation of technical experts and consultants. The ministry was also actively involved in organizing and coordinating logistical processes, ensuring that all needed materials and equipment from China, such as structural materials, training materials, Juncao planting materials, mushroom germplasm, arrived safely into Fiji. The second phase began in December 2017, saw the arrival of 11 Juncao technology experts from Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University of China. These experts assisted on establishment and maintenance of mushroom production, practically involved in expanding Juncao production, managed training on Juncao technology, and provided equipment and materials for technical assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished delegates, the Fiji Juncao technology focuses on scientific and technological research and its successful demonstration. The project pursues the establishment of mushroom industry in Fiji by cultivating 2 hectares and interplanting within mango orchards, cultivating 8 varieties of mushroom. The mushroom varieties introduced are Ganoderma lucidum, Auricula, Pleurotus arotius, Pleurotus conupai, Pleurotus sapidus, Pleurotus erringil, straw mushroom, Pleurotus citrinopilatus. The successful varieties cultivated includes oyster mushroom, Pleurotus sapidus, which can be planted outdoors and is conducive to Fiji's environment, and oyster mushroom, Pleurotus ostratus. Cultivating and managing these 2 varieties are the basis of all 1,700 mushroom farmers training conducted so far. Mushroom is a niche market product that targets high-end consumers, and this statement is always highlighted to interested farmers during any organized training. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, since the project's inception, the center has distributed more than 100,000 mushroom tubers to potential farmers in the Central and Western Division who have undergone the relevant training and interested in cultivating mushroom. Fiji Juncao Center has also distributed 973,510 Juncao cuttings to livestock farmers for feeds. Ministry's Mushroom Ongoing Development Program, a total budget of $230,000 was allocated to boost mushroom research, development, and training on best farming practices for 2020-2021 financial year. Also in the current financial year, 3 successful mushroom farmers were assisted with 20-feet storage container to assist them commercialize their mushroom farms. Fiji is also exporting mushrooms to other Pacific Island countries. The volume of mushroom exported in 2019 recorded 3,509 kgs as compared to 2,284 kgs, which was exported in 2018, a 54% increase in 1 year. Despite its advantages, mushroom farming requires delicate management. Therefore, only a few farmers can successfully continue with mushroom farming, and Ministry considers this constraint in its pursuit to further develop mushroom farming in Fiji. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, Fiji, through the Ministry of Agriculture, will continue to promote the use of Juncao technology in mushroom farming. This growing industry has supported women, men, and youth, including those that are physically challenged and vulnerable. The industry and its growing interest will provide this vulnerable segment of our population and employment and income, help reduce inequality, and provide sustainable livelihood. Thank you, Shishi, Mercy, and Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mr. Das, for those wonderful remarks and for highlighting what the Fiji Juncao Center is doing and for emphasizing the importance of South-South cooperation. The links that Fiji has been able to establish with China has led to the transfer of this important technology, which is now benefiting women, youth, and other groups in vulnerable situations. And of course, you did underscore some of the important takeaways, which is basically to improve food and nutrition security, job creation, and contributing to the reductions in inequality. So thank you very much for your kind remarks. And we look forward one day to visiting Fiji. Maybe we can bring some of the, people from around the world who can learn from your experience as well, since you have been playing this critical role from the beginning. Thank you very much.
Most welcome anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Now our next speaker is Mr. Frank Wagnappi, who is advisor for the Division of Natural Resources, Eastern Highlands Province, Papua New Guinea. He's also currently the coordinator for China Aid Juncao and Upland Rice Technology Project. The Juncao industry in Papua New Guinea is the second largest agricultural industrial development after the coffee industry, and it is often hailed as an agricultural innovation by the locals. In 2017, the yield of the Juncao grass in Papua New Guinea set a world record of 854 tons per hectare. So we look forward to learning more about what Papua New Guinea has been doing right. So Mr. Wagnappi, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Hello, good evening, everyone. I will be making a speech on behalf of the governor for Eastern Highlands Province. Governor sent an apology. He's on duty travel in other provinces, and he won't be available tonight. So I will read a speech on behalf of him. So I will start now. Mr. Amson Sibanda, Chief National Strategies and Capacity Building Branch, Division for Sustainable Development Goals, United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Mr. Alexander Tripolkov, Officer in Charge, DG UN DESA, Professor Lin Jiangxi, Chief Scientist, National Engineering Research Center of Juncao Technology, Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University, China. My colleague speakers from Fiji, Rwanda, and Brazil, all participants in this highest UN conference. It is my great pleasure and honor to be invited to participate in this online high-level side event of the United Nations Conference sponsored by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs in partnership with the Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University of China. Firstly, at the global political level, I would like to give credit to His Excellency Xi Jinping, the President of China, for his global contribution under the pledge to promote a community with a shared future for mankind. This vision embodies the ideas of building an open, inclusive, clean, and beautiful world that enjoys lasting peace, universal security, and common prosperity. It answers the major question of how the international community should face a period of turbulence and change that is characterized by increased fragmentation in response to salient risks and challenges. In 2015, Chinese President Xi Jinping announced the establishment of the United Nations Peace and Development Summit to support the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, in which the Juncao technology was listed as one of the tools to help achieve the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals. China is strong in its development aspiration and prompt action in addressing issues that are threat to societies domestically and internationally, as COVID-19 pandemic, poverty eradication, climate change, etc. And we believe the listing of the Chinese invented Juncao technology in the UN program with the support of the Chinese government, with its strong leadership, can go a long way in addressing poverty and hunger through such innovative technology to build more resilient food systems and minimize environmental damage in line with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Secondly, my special acknowledgement to the inventor of the Juncao technology, Professor Lin Changxi, from the Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University in China. He is a champion of poverty, as this technology has spread to well over 106 countries in the world. He has soft heart and care for the humanity to share his invention freely to the world, including Papua New Guinea, to help the underprivileged. If the wealthy and the powerful of the world can have the same heart, this world wouldn't experience unbalanced development. Implementation of Juncao technology in Eastern Highlands province of Papua New Guinea. Professor Lin Changxi and his scientific team started exploring in research, and the first country that he expands in his research is in Eastern Highlands province of Papua New Guinea, based in Lufa as an experimental base. From here in Eastern Highlands province, the seeds of technology have been sown in more and more countries in the world. And once again, I would like to salute His Excellency Xi Jinping, the President of China, for his continuous support to the people of Eastern Highlands province and Papua New Guinea. It is because of him that we sealed this closer tie when he signed the sister provincial relationship between Eastern Highlands province of Papua New Guinea and Fujian province of China in 2000. And this bilateral relationship has further opened the door for the Juncao technology transfer to Eastern Highlands province, and further supported with the signing of China aiding funding during the 2018 APEC meeting and state visit to Papua New Guinea by the President of China. As the governor of this province, I am delighted that the first research outside of China is done here in my soil, and I am happy that our contribution can also contribute to the benefit of mankind to the world through this innovative technology. Further to that, at sub-national level, my province has been declared by Professor Lin Changxi as the model province in achieving the 2030 Sustainable Development Goal through Juncao technology. My government has placed Juncao technology as priority booster to the agriculture industry in the province by transforming Eastern Highlands province from subsistence agriculture to industrial investment by establishing farmer cooperatives in 6 districts, supporting them with seed capital funding and machineries to increase production and downstream processing through setup of agriculture industry park. At the individual household level, Juncao technology is penetrating and making impact in increasing income generation, nutritional food value, addressing food security, thereby improving livelihood. One example of the many is a lady by the name of Ms. Jika Abori from Komufa village in Goroka district, has become a successful mushroom farmer and has made rich income of 25,000 within a year. This is a huge turnover for a simple village woman. This is only one farmer, but many more. Many more benefiting, and my government is very supportive of this, supportive in technical and expertise. We have the advantage of Chinese technical expert from Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University with us, that we acknowledge their continuous commitment and support despite the danger of COVID-19 pandemic. My request is for the United Nations Development Program under the Department of Economic and Social Affairs is to support my government's development agenda in achieving zero poverty in my province and as a model in achieving the UN 2030 agenda. Together, let us share our knowledge, experience, and resource in contributing to our common efforts to create a better future and prosperity for all mankind with leaving no one behind. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Wagnappi, and extend our heartfelt thanks to Mr. Nunu for the partnership that we have. Would have loved definitely to have him, but we understand his busy schedule. And thank you very much for highlighting some important elements of the partnership that we have with the People's Republic of China. Again, further underscoring the importance of South-South cooperation. And congratulations, your province was declared the mother province. It looks like you are doing an excellent job when it comes to implementing the SDG agenda. And of course, as UNDESA, we are more than happy to respond to your request for additional support to help you implement the development agenda, and we will continue our partnership in that area as well. So thank you very much. I now invite our third speaker, Dr. Patrick Karangwa, who is the Director General in the Agriculture and Animal Resources Development Board of Rwanda. Dr. Karangwa coordinates activities related to boosting agricultural productivity as well as livestock productivity. Mr. Karangwa, you have 5 minutes.
Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and pleasure to participate in this side event on leveraging science, technology, and innovation to build more resilient food systems, the case of the Juncao technology. I'm representing Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Animal Resources of the government of Rwanda, who delegated me to attend the event on her behalf. Agriculture is the major pillar of Rwandan economy, contributing 1/3 of the GDP. The sector employs 62.2% of the labor force, contributes 63% of foreign exchange earnings, and meets about 90% of the country's food needs. Rwanda is the most densely populated country in the mainland Africa, with 525 inhabitants per square kilometer, and 0.3 hectare farm size per household. Studies have projected that the country's agriculture sector needs to multiply by 15 times current levels of productivity to ensure meeting food security needs of the rapidly growing population by 2050. Considering the country's challenges of our agriculture sector, the government of Rwanda promotes technologies and innovations that allow achieving high levels of productivity on small land and promotion of high value crops. In this regard, the government of Rwanda considers the Juncao technology, a technology based on growing mushroom by using low costs and locally available materials like grasses, as one of the innovations to be prioritized. Invented in 1980s by the Professor Lin Sakti from China's Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University, and rapidly disseminating globally, Juncao technology is a powerful technology for developing countries in the process of eradication of poverty, reduction of hunger, use of renewable energy, promotion of employment, and response to climate change. The Juncao technology is among the high potential agriculture technologies to enable achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals and the Comprehensive Agriculture Development Program, CADAP, and the East African Agenda for Agriculture. Among the Sustainable Development Goals, the agriculture sector plays a key role to achieve several SDGs, particularly the SDG 1, to end extreme poverty, the SDG 2, zero hunger, improve nutrition and sustainable agriculture, SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, SDG 13, climate change, climate action, and SDG 15, terrestrial ecosystems, forestry, and land. By increasing productivity of agriculture on small land, the Juncao technology enables to achieve the graduation from poverty and fight malnutrition. The Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, CADAP, was born with the aim to drive agriculture transformation on the African continent by raising agriculture productivity by at least 6% every year through increasing public spending on agriculture to at least 10% of national budget. The Juncao technology is among the high-value technologies to enable Africa to rapidly deliver on CAADP by efficiency of agriculture investments and public funding, spending. Rwanda has emerged the best performing country overall in implementing CAADP, the continental policy framework for agricultural transformation, wealth creation, food security and nutrition, economic growth and prosperity for all. Ladies and gentlemen, during the China-Africa Cooperation Forum Summit held in Beijing, agreed to adopt for reinforced economic aid to Africa by creating agriculture technology demonstration centers. And China did indeed create these centers across the continent and beyond. China-Rwanda Agriculture Technology Demonstration Center is one of the 14 centers established in Africa. It has a mission of developing market-oriented agriculture and land husbandry through research, extension technologies, demonstration, and trainings. It is also committed to be an economically viable, cohesive, and sustainable diversified demonstration center that uses high agriculture production practices to produce high quality cultivated rice, mushrooms, grass for feed, silkworm hybrid eggs to improve farmers' livelihoods, and food security in Rwanda. According to agreement signed between Rwanda and China, this center has technologies development among others for Juncao mushroom technology, rice cultivation, rice. And through this agreement, 12 experts from China have performed several duties, among others, the technical trainings, demonstrations of technologies, extension and other related works, and have been deployed to Rwanda by the Fujian Agricultural and Forestry University, and we highly appreciate this collaboration. The adoption of the Juncao technology in Rwanda consisted of research and demonstration and adaptation of the Juncao new varieties of grass, and training and post-harvest management. Different demonstration models on mushroom cultivation, including triangle mushroom shed, flat-topped mushroom shed, grass ecological mushroom shed, mushroom indoor cultivation, mulberry cultivation, among others, were adopted. 12 mushroom varieties have been introduced, and their adaptability have been evaluated in Rwanda. Research has been done on different mushroom substrate formulations based on nitrogen and carbon substrate formulation using, among others, the elephant grass, the rice bran, maize cobs, maize straw, sorghum straw, cotton seed shell, rice huts, lime powder, and water. The best formulation was developed and currently used by more than 50 mushroom seed producers, companies, and cooperatives. The preliminary research on local, wild, edible, and medicinal mushroom resources has been conducted. 4 grass varieties were introduced from China and are currently in the production of mushroom as serving as substrates. These include the giant grass, which can get the yield of 450 tons per hectare and can produce 150 tons from mushroom, of fresh mushroom. We don't have any other crops that can produce such a huge yield. 450 tons per hectare, you cannot imagine yourselves how that is very high yield. Incomparable with any other crop. To date, 46 training courses on Juncao mushroom cultivation technology were organized, and about 35,000 mushroom farmers have been trained. The beneficiaries include farmers, women's associations, cooperatives, youth, orphans, AIDS organization, universities, vocational and technical colleges, hospitals, juvenile prisons, and so on. In November 2019, the Ministry of Commerce of China sponsored a training on the course of Juncao technology organized by Fujian Agriculture and Forestry University in collaboration with Rwanda Agriculture and Animal Resources Development Board. 45 participants, including university lecturers, the staff of this institution, sector and agronomists and cooperative members, young entrepreneurs and their private sector attended this 25-day course. In order to preserve mushroom yield, technologies such as mushroom preservation salt, mushroom grinding into powder, mushroom drying, fried mushroom, mushroom packaging, cooking, and other processing technologies are evaluated at the Rwanda-China Center. Ladies and gentlemen, before introducing the Juncao technology, many people in Rwanda were not really aware that mushroom farming is a profitable business that can help fight poverty. Now, the Juncao business helps producers to pay the school fees for their children and meet other household needs. Juncao technology has contributed to job creation, food security, and generation of income for rural communities in Rwanda, and has played an important role in tackling malnutrition in the country. To date, stakeholders involved in mushroom production are estimated at 15,000 farmers. Most of them are young and women. The mushroom grown in Rwanda are exported across the region and contribute to improving the health and livelihoods of tens of thousands of farmers and customers. Ladies and gentlemen, as I head towards the end of this speech, I'd like to reiterate the government of Rwanda efforts to keep up with the development and adoption of technologies and innovations for achieving agriculture transformation and improvement of livelihoods of farmers. And we highly appreciate the cooperation in this regard. We highly appreciate our cooperation with the government of China and other development partners and the United Nations in the pursuit of transformational growth of the economy. We consider that in order to maximize benefits of Juncao technology, it is necessary to integrate mushroom cultivation into the overall development programs and economic strengthening activities, provide continued support to the mushroom stakeholders through technical advice and monitoring, and put in place processing and storing mechanisms for fresh mushroom to reduce mushroom production losses encountered by farmers, and encourage more private investors to invest in the mushroom industry. I would like to take this opportunity to allure private investors to Rwanda to invest in production of mushroom businesses in the country, as it is a highly profitable business. And the investment climate in Rwanda is very convenient. As you must know, most of you in the audience and the ladies and gentlemen in the audience, Rwanda is renowned for facilitating investment. Under the leadership of His Excellency, the President Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, Rwanda has become a reference point for good governance in the region, political stability, with well-functioning institutions, observance of the rule of law, and zero tolerance for corruption. Rwanda today prides itself in being among the easiest, safest, and cleanest places to do business and travel in the world. So we highly welcome partners for collaboration in promotion of digital technology in Rwanda. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Karangwa. It looks like we have some noise, so I encourage all participants to mute your microphones so that at least we don't have the extra noise. Otherwise, thank you very much, Dr. Karangwa, for representing the minister and for your wonderful remarks. You truly underscored the importance of agriculture in Rwanda. and highlighting that there are clear linkages between the transfer of technologies such as Juncao to what the African Union is trying to do when it comes to promoting agricultural transformation on the continent through the CADE program. So that linkage that you have highlighted is very, very important. And of course, you also underscore the importance of the China-Africa Cooperation Forum and its commitment to establish strong agricultural research centers on the continent. It's good to know that Rwanda is one of the 14 centers that has been established so far. So when conditions improve and when we can resume global travel, we hope to bring a lot of African participants who are interested in learning about Juncao technology to visit Rwanda. And of course, we also encourage investors to jump in. There are so many opportunities as you want to highlight. It's very critical to integrate mushroom production into local value chains and invite the private sector to come into play as well, as they're given the many opportunities that exist. So thank you very much for that inspirational presentation. I now turn to our fourth speaker, who is Professor Aralda Kubin, who is with the Embrapa Genetic Resources and the Biotechnology Center in Brazil. After obtaining a doctorate from the University of Birmingham, Professor Kubin received training on edible and medicinal mushrooms using Juncao technique from FAFU in 1995. And she is one of the most unique persons. She was among the first batch of Professor Lin students. So she is indeed a pioneer. The Juncao technology was adapted by Professor Kubin at the Brazilian Agricultural Research Corporation, Embrapa, the Genetic Resources and Biotechnology Center, which is located in Brasilia, Brazil. This technique has been used since 1996 under tropical conditions, which is very, very for many of the countries that we want to, to see that technology adopted. Professor Kubin has made outstanding contributions to promoting the Juncao industry in Brazil, as well as in South American countries. Professor Kubin, you have about 6 minutes.
Thank you, Doctor. I would like to say good morning for ladies and gentlemen. My talk is about Juncao technology in Brazil. Juncao technology was adapted by me. I received training on edible and medicinal mushroom using Juncao technology, technique in Fujian, China, in 1995. This technique has been used since 1996 under tropical conditions. You can see the picture, the Embrapa Research Genetic and Biotechnology, where I work. Objective of offer an alternative source of high quality protein with high nutrition and medicinal value to general population. Benefits. Juncao has greatly benefited the circular economy by contributing to the development of several productive activities, including urban nutrition, urban health, cosmetics, and agriculture. Education and training. Educating the public on the benefits of mushroom and the tissue cultivation techniques have had a large positive impact on the adoption. This included training courses, both nationally and internationally in Africa, for example, child learning, seminars, workshops, and national and international symposium in Brazil. In the last 25 years, Embrapa Genetic Research and Biotechnology has promoted 53 courses related to the cultivation and the edible and medicinal mushrooms. Some of these students now apply this technique in the production using raw mushrooms, dietary supplements, and cosmetic products throughout Brazil. You can see some picture for the tournament course in Brazil, the practical class. Approximately 2,000 people from several Brazilian states and some students from South America and West America have been training in using the modified Juncao technique in the period between 1996 to 2019. The modified Juncao technique includes, among other things, the use of the local grass, banana bark, coffee green, and sugarcane bagasse as substrates. Some students during practical lecture. Training course in Ghana, Occidental Africa, you can see some students. Training course for teenagers at the public school in Brazil, because it's very important people, teenage people to know about Juncao technology. I published already 4 books on mushroom cultivation using the Chinese Juncao technology. The first, the second, the third edition, and the last one about recipe using Juncao technology. Economy impact. As for the economy impact, the modified Juncao technique has further structuring of the fungiculture industry in Brazil. Before adoption on the Juncao technology, the Brazilian market only sells champignon pears in candy format. Now, you can find a large variety of mushroom available for purchase in local markets. In 1995, Brazil consumed 30 grams of mushrooms per capita. Now, in this year, it's about that number has climbed to 380 per capita. You can see some species of mushroom grow using Juncao technique. Conclusion. The Juncao technology is innovative and accessible because it uses low-cost organic substrate. The production cycle is short, and the mushroom can be grown in small areas, produce mushroom of a high quality that offer buzz, high nutritional and medicinal value. Since 1996, the use of the Chinese Juncao techniques adapted by Embrapa has greatly shaped the Brazilian fungiculture industry. This cultivation technology has been passed on the the general population as well as to industry. Embrapa has promoted courses, workshops, seminars, national international symposium, and published several books on the subject. Training courses are the first step in market mushroom available to people in all social class around the world. Adoption requires that people learn of its benefits and seek an alternative source of protein. It's very important to educate people for all ages, but children benefit the most because they can adopt the mushroom as a food source early in their lifetimes. Benefits extend to the core-friendly techniques associated with the production. Future goals: continue to disseminate the technology to people from different backgrounds in different professions, adapting and promoting the technique to low-income communities, intensify the education of children, continue to raise awareness of the population of the nutritional and medicinal benefits of mushrooms, encourage public policies that include mushrooms in school meals, and also make it available to families living below the poverty line. I would like to express my gratitude to the National Nation for the opportunity to attend this event, and Embrapa for providing the results for my research, the Chinese government, especially the Agricultural and Forestal University in Fuzhou, China. And I'd like to express my gratitude for Dr. Lin Shanxi for the great opportunity to learn, introduce, and disseminate the Juncao technique. Thank you so much for everybody.
Thank you very much, Professor Kubin, for that inspirational presentation. And of course, you are a pioneer in many ways. Not only were you among the first batch of Professor Lin's class, but you also pioneered the Juncao technology in Brazil, and you seem to have done wonders with it. And of course, you do emphasize important elements. The need to make sure that we promote and educate the public about the multiple benefits that come from eating mushrooms. They do indeed improve the nutritional food intake for children in schools. That's very, very critical. And of course, you also need to train other professionals, and of course to have the private sector involved. And for you to have trained more than 2,000 people, including not only in Brazil, but in South America and West Africa and countries such as Ghana, I think that is highly commendable. So we do indeed look forward to working with Embrapa and you to see if we can extend this technology during the second phase of the project. So thank you very much for your presentation. I now turn to an interactive panel discussion. We have about 3 speakers. I know we are running slightly over time. We had set aside about an hour, but it looks like the presentations are quite fascinating. So we will probably, have an additional 10 or so minutes or 15 minutes or probably. So in this next segment, we have 3 speakers. Our first speaker is Ms. Dongmei Lin, who is the Vice Director, National Engineering Research Center of Juncao Technology, FAFU, and also serves as the Deputy Director of the Department of International Cooperation at Fijian Agriculture and Forestry University. She received scientific and graduate training at the National University of Singapore, as well as Nanyang Technology University and the Fijian Agriculture and Forestry University. She has been working in Singapore, South Africa, Lesotho, Rwanda, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, and Central African Republic to promote the technology. So she is an expert in this field, and she has learned a lot from working in these various geographic regions around the world. So Ms. Dongmei Lin, you have about 4 minutes.
Thank you, Anson. Thank you. I think that some participants share the screen. Can you stop sharing so I can share the screen? Okay. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good evening. It's my honor and a great pleasure to meet so many participants. Many of you are old friends online. And my university, FAFU, is the birthplace of Juncao technology, and also has the honor of becoming the implementation partner of UNDESA on this Juncao technology project and the China UN Peace and Development Trust Fund. So I will make a brief introduction on the Phase 2 Juncao technology project. Phase 1 was launched in May 2017 in New York, UN headquarters. And the Phase 2 starts from now, July 2021 to June 2024. So in Phase 2, we will monitor progress and scale up the implementation of the Juncao technology project for those countries in Phase 1 that already participate. And at the same time, we're going to launch demand-driven capacity building activities in new project countries. So the target countries, they are all the developing countries in Africa, Asia, Pacific, and Latin American and Caribbean regions. So we are targeting at the groups, for example, the agricultural, forestry, environmental, protection, land and land management, all these agencies from the national and sub-national governments. And we are also looking for cooperation with the research educational institutions and the farmers cooperatives, small-scale farmers, women, youth, and other stakeholders. So the main activities include, we have 7 main activities. First, there are workshops at the different levels will be organized, including the national workshops for policymakers, for technicians, for farmers, and regional workshops for all the Juncao stakeholders, and as well as annual international workshop with thematic SDG and the goals focus on related to the Juncao technology. So we, due to the COVID-19 effect, we cannot travel to the target countries, to the participating countries for the national workshop, regional workshop, and also the international workshop so far. but we are still prepared to resume this travel for our Juncao expert team, and together with Young and DESA, the official leaders, to visit all the participants, the participating countries, the project countries in future. The number 2 is international study tours in China. Usually for such a kind of study tour, we are going to organize the activities like visiting our research center in Fuzhou, Fujian province, visiting the Chinese Juncao mushroom farms, livestock farms, the mushroom factories, Juncao grass, the fiberboard factories, and even the paper making factories with Juncao material. And also the desertification control experiment sites in both South and the North regions in China. So in order to bring all the participants for the study tour, to enable them to have a full picture of Juncao industry development status. But unfortunately, this study tour cannot take place as well. We are still waiting for the pandemic to be over so we can resume this activity. Number 3 is technical support. Our FAFU Juncao expert will facilitate the local government, either national government, provincial government, to set up the demonstration bases. We are going to provide on-site and online technical support, both on-site and online. Some of our technicians has already traveled overseas to overseas countries like Central African Republic, like to Papua New Guinea. They are still working there, and we can, for those countries really in need of technical support, we can organize our expert team to provide this expertise support. So number 4, we are going to establish the Juncao this technology knowledge platform, which we are constructing a website, Juncao website. In this website, we are going to put all the common basic knowledges of Juncao technology, the country cases, the videos, and also photo galleries, and the latest news informations. And this website will also provide a daily and in-time communication. It's a platform for all the Juncao technology communities. So number 5, we're going to hold online Juncao science course. The students from universities, schools will be recruited to attend this course. We encourage the universities to establish a formal cooperation relationship with our university to include Juncao science into their curriculum. Number 6, the academic research grant for government research institutions and the universities can be applied, which will facilitate the local talents to start the research from their side. And we are also going to provide the scholarship for the Juncao technology for some of these, for those identified recommended the students from their respected universities. Number 7, the best practice of all the Juncao technologies applications and the business and the training programs will be promoted through the website, through the conference, through some publishment, and also through some exhibitions and also news medias. So all the development approaches are very variable. Learning from each other will fasten the whole development process for all the countries. So in phase one, we have country activities and regional workshops in China, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Laos, Madagascar, Central African Republic. We also have prepared a workshop in Kenya, Nigeria, but both affected by COVID-19. So in phase two, for those countries who are interested to participate in this UN Juncao technology project, very importantly, the selection of the project countries will be demand-driven. So first you need to submit an interest letter to UNDESA, either from the national government or leading institutions, which will be reviewed by UNDESA and also FAFU team. The selection will be made because there also are competitions among all the applicants. After that, we are going to help the local government to organize workshops and training courses. We're also going to proceed with this academic research grant. And very importantly, I'd like to make us a little bit elaboration on this establish a local demonstration base. We propose to start small-scale demonstration base on address the challenge for COVID-19 recovery. Previously, the projects in Rwanda, in Fiji, Papua New Guinea was supported by China Aid, and which we have relatively quite like, for example, our aid project will be funded by our government. But for all these project countries, I suggest you can source different channels for the funding to set up a small-scale demonstration base. Such a base will meet the demand at initial stage for this technical transfer, and you can enlarge it, expand it in future, which will bring the much lower setup cost. From my estimation, we can set up such a small-scale demonstration base at $300,000 to $500,000, which is about 1/3 or even 1/5 of the regular project scale. So, which will be ready for operation within 3 to 4 months is short for preparation. But the one criteria is we need to have some buildings, some infrastructure is ready. For example, some workshop, some shade, and also some simple machines, and the electricity and water facilities should be there. We can demonstrate the Juncao grass, the mushroom production, forage production, and also environmental protection techniques in these demonstration bases. We divide these bases construction into 4 modules. There are 4 packages. One is for construction, second for seeds, including the seedlings for grass and the mushroom spawns. Number 3 is the equipment and the materials. Number 5 is we call it smart package, which enable a distant supervision of from China. For example, our expert in China can use this like video camera or the sensors and the APPs to supervise the growth of the mushrooms and the grass in overseas countries. So the small base can also have 6 functions. You can use the base for training, extension, education, provide practical lessons for schools, students. We planned also some simple primary processing and packaging functions for the base. So this is what we want to encourage for the countries already participate in the phase 1 and also those who are coming for phase 2. This gives you some ideas about the demonstration-based activities for those who are new to this technology. We need to have a field, the agricultural land for grass planting, the milling, packaging of the materials, sterilization, inoculation, incubation, and the fruiting. So this is the flow chart for the complete production cycle for mushrooms. So other than the demonstration basis, the local partners also played very important roles in successful transferring of a Juncao technology and the adoption of this technique, and also for the Juncao industry's development. There should be policy support, like Fiji Ministry of Agriculture. They put the urbanizing the use of Juncao grass to enhance livestock production as 5 initiatives. Also the Ministry of Agriculture facilitate our project to get the organic certificate for the mushroom product. We need the support from the local government, like Eastern Highland Provincial Government. They allocate the project budget to this project for extension, for industry park. They also bring the mini bank, the financial sectors into the value chain to promote this production. This picture showing is one of our farmers. He made this mini expo, okay, in August. The supporters, including the local banking sector, and also like Eastern Highland Provincial Government, they organized to make a video, 40 minutes video, to record the history of a Juncao technology transfer and application and the benefit to the local communities. This photo showing you is the films they have made. We also need the support from the local communities for regular advertisement on the nutritional value of and the medicinal value of mushrooms, in order to build up the consumption behavior. Like just now, Dr. Aryogi Nina has mentioned, the education of mushroom consumption should start from the early stage from child. So this is very important. That's why we have done a lot of cooking demonstration for mamas, for the women's. So the women in the family, once they cook the mushroom, they are familiar with the mushroom recipes. They can cook mushroom dishes, and the children will love it. So this will affect the consumption, will affect the market in the end. So we have, like for example, the Rwanda government, Rwanda Ministry of Agriculture. In the early stage, they have done a lot of promotion for to bring the information of mushrooms, the nutritional values of mushrooms, to the public through newspaper, radio, TV, and this is very effective way. Also, in many countries like Rwanda, like Fiji, Lesotho, the local government also have their policy to encourage youth and the women to start the Juncao business. Also establish Juncao Farmers Association. So all these are very important measures in order to promote the Juncao industry in different countries. Lastly, I want to share with you the information for the upcoming events. In this year, we are going to offer our online course on Juncao technology. There are 4 session lectures will be done in the morning Africa time morning, Saturdays in September, October, November. We are also going to launch Juncao website in the last quarter of this year, or we are complete in the by first quarter of next year. So at the same time, we are recruiting the postgraduate students from developing countries as well. But also due to the COVID-19 effect, for those who want to come to China to start the study, their postgraduate study, which will be only available after 2022, which means the year after next year. These international students recruitment will resume to normal. But now we can offer the scholarship to those students. They are already in China. For example, if you are in China, you are studying bachelor degree. This year you graduate, then or maybe next year you graduate, then you can apply for our master scholarship, same like PhD scholarship. Okay, so thank you very much. This all the informations for the phase 2 project. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dongmei, for at least giving some very, very critical information to all the participants, in particular what we anticipate or what we plan to do during the second phase of the project that starts this month, July, up to 2024. And of course, you did indicate the critical steps that interested countries who want to join should do. So we will try to post some links on our webpage, as well as the FAVUS webpage for you to follow up if you are really interested. And of course, we also know that there are many students who would want to pursue graduate studies or who might want to take some online courses that we'll be sponsoring. So, but FAF will be doing the screening and selecting the best students. So there are many opportunities, at least to make sure that we have enough capacity at the national level to implement this project. I think one important lesson that we learned from COVID is that we need, of course, we can train the farmers, the local farmers, but they also need support from the government and from local research institutions. So we need a very comprehensive strategy, at least that can address short-term needs that some local farmers might face. Maybe a local university can reach out and send some students or their professors to go and help these local farmers. And of course, in addition, we will need FAFU to be there, but we also need other partners to come in. So overall, although the Juncao technology is being promoted through South-South cooperation, it is also important to remember that it's just one element. We have North-South cooperation, we have South-South cooperation, and we have triangular cooperation. So we want to ensure that this project contributes to the achievement of the 23rd Agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals using all forms of cooperation. So again, thanks very much, Dongmei, for highlighting all these upcoming events and some of the local initiatives that are being undertaken. But of course, I know the most important critical thing that most participants would want to hear is, how do I get involved? There's a question from Sudan or South Sudan, I think. They would want to establish a demonstration center. So at least when you respond later, you can always provide clear guidance in terms of how can a new country establish a demonstration center. So thank you very much, Dongmei. I now invite our second speaker, Mr. Pech Soka, who is the Deputy Secretary General of Economic, Social and Cultural Council of Cambodia. Mr. Soka is an economist and a leading advocate for the implementation of regulatory impact assessments in the Cambodian government to support sustainable economic growth. Mr. Soka, you have 2 minutes.
Hello, Mr. Alexander, Tripoto, Professor Ling Chansi, all delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Today I am very happy to join this event that talking about Juncao technology And I still remember our study tour on Juncao technology in June 2019, Fujian, Berlin, China. I noted that this study tour to increase knowledge and capacity as policymakers and experts in developing countries through their policy and program to support sustainable development of agriculture through transfer Chinese Juncao technology to developing countries. I remark on the experiments and past practice has shown that the plastic with quickly takes root in those degraded soil, which can effectively prevent erosion. The grass is used to feed cattle, goat, and sheep with high quality, which makes the animal grow fast. Many kinds of mushrooms has also been developed into the food and medicine industries, which help poor farmers living in the forested area, barren land, to improve the quality of soil, to develop animal husbandry, and low cost to produce processed mushroom to increase their livelihood got better. Juncao technology is very appropriate. India is seriously involved in the project. My idea, Juncao technology can help Cambodia in poverty alleviation and environmental accreditation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sokapech. And obviously, yes, we look forward to working with you and supporting you through the Juncao technology transfer in order to at least address issues of poverty eradication, the empowerment of women and young people, and of course, to also address issues of soil erosion and ensure that livestock has enough feed throughout the year. Thank you very much for your remarks. And now I invite our last speaker, Dr. Chayan Sominyan, Executive Representative of International Investment Group, Thailand. Dr. Sominyan was advisor to the Minister of Defense of Thailand and is a member of the State Security, Education and Investigation Committee. Mr. Sominyan, you have 2 minutes.
Good morning. Mr. Alexander Trepelkov, Director of Division for Sustainable Development Goals in the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, honorable leaders from each countries and departments, all speakers, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to have the opportunity to address such a distinguished audience. Let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Chayan Sominyan, Executive Representative of International Investment Group of Thailand. Today, on behalf of Thai people, I would like to take this opportunity to present a project which could make people having a better life. For this Juncao project in Thailand, which sponsored through the United Nations Peace and Development Trust Fund, I have planned and raised live farm animals, especially the project to clarify areas of mushroom projects by Professor Lin Jan Zai and Dr. Lin Dong Mei. I would like to call both of them creator of grass from heaven. The project has been giving out a training course to soldiers, citizens, and students from various universities. We have found out that the project was attracted from all the attendants. However, Thailand are unable to invite experts from China to do training and explain more on this project. In addition, we have been preparing to set up the project as soon as possible in order to understand and increase more knowledges on Juncao project. Therefore, I would like to take this opportunity to ask for your cooperation in terms of legal compliance with both government and private sectors to accomplish for immediate success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chan Sominiam. We definitely look forward to working with Thailand as well. And thanks for your offer to invite us and for being willing to work with the private sector and the government of Thailand, at least to make sure that when the technology gets introduced, you have more participants who can learn about the technology, the grass, the mushrooms, and of course, its benefits to the local value chain and as well as the regional value chains. So thank you very much for your kind remarks. We have now come to the end of our speakers. So I know that there is one or two questions in terms of how can countries establish demonstration centers. So maybe I'll ask Dong Mei to quickly respond to that before I make my closing remarks.
Okay, yeah, I can see that many questions on this demonstration center. Okay, the first is the demonstration center. We need to discuss with the local Ministry of Agriculture, preferably to allocate a piece of land, and then we can start the seedlings, to planting the grass seedlings. And at the same time, we need some small area of the workshop for the mushroom production. So when this facilities is ready, then we'll bring in the machine. We can bring in the machines, and we can do some online training, and through the video, through some online training. And also many of the countries, actually we have our students, those who has already been trained in China. They are ready to start this the demonstration, but they don't have the facilities. So this group of our previous trainees, they can be organized together as a local technical team to start the pilot production. We started in the small scale first. Actually, like for example, in Madagascar, some private sectors, they give some funding to support the Ministry of Agriculture to import these grass seedlings to start the livestock feeding with the Juncao grass. Similarly, like Dr. Chayan from Thailand, he also personally, his company has facilitated with this importation of the seedlings to start the propagate the grass. This is the first step. For the mushroom production, which is a little bit difficult, I mean, they request more machines and the facilities, but which also can be solved with a simple technique. So I will put this, we can put, I can make a separate PPTs or information sheet for how to start a demonstration center for this topic. Okay.
Thank you, Dong Mei. Definitely, I know colleagues are also asking so many questions how they can get in touch with us. So my colleague Ang Chen has just posted some contact details for you to reach out, as well as our website where you can find additional information, so that at least we can stay in touch. And of course, there was a person from Thailand who wants to know how young people can get involved in this project. Basically, as long as your country is part of the project countries that we have, we hope to involve as many people locally through our workshops and the main activities that we will be organizing. But of course, we will be working in close partnership with the relevant government ministries And of course, now we want to also work with some of the local research and academic institutions. So there will be opportunities, and we'll try at least to make sure that we reach out to all the groups that are critical to make this project a success. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We have now reached the end of our webinar or side event. I would like to start by expressing my sincere appreciation to my colleagues here in DESA, as well as in FAFU, for organizing this very successful side event. In particular, I would like to thank Professor Lin and the Juncao team for pioneering and developing this technology and having worked tirelessly in promoting its dissemination and adaptation so that millions of people from around the world can benefit from it. Your assistance, your technology, your passion and spirit of collaboration are acknowledged and welcomed globally. Your efforts are critical to the achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And as we heard from our colleague from Rwanda, your efforts are also critical to the achievement of Africa's Comprehensive Agricultural Development Program. So there are many goals, whether global or regional or national, where the transfer of Juncao technology will play an important part. I would also like to thank all the participants for joining us today in this very enriching and exciting webinar. We have exchanged knowledge, and I think we have learned a lot from each other and from the interesting presentations that have been made. Today, we have had the unique opportunity to learn about the Juncao technology, success stories from the beneficiary countries that were part of the phase 1, as well as the potential benefits of introducing this technology to new countries. UNDESA and its efforts towards the local implementation of this project will continue to be scaled up during the second phase. Although the United Nations in New York, it sounds a bit far away from your life, we hope that through our partnership with FAFU, the Juncao technology that we are promoting will soon appear in your university laboratory, in your backyard, in your fish pond, in a river near you, or the desert that is causing problems in your everyday lives. And of course, we also hope that the Juncao mushrooms will be served on your dining table. It is critical that we continue to transfer knowledge about the Juncao technology across various parts of the world. The success of this technology depends on the engagement of all of you. As a member of the Juncao family, you are joining the global movement for safe, accessible, sustainable, and equitable food systems. I hope to see you in our online training workshops, in our study tours, in our fellowship programs. And as Dogme has said, we'll be providing some small grants to local experts, which will further contribute to the institutional capacity building that we hope to entrench at the national level, focusing on the localization of the Juncao technology as what has happened in Brazil. And of course, we also want to ensure that the local researchers are in a position to provide extension services to the local farmers. So let's make a commitment to learn, to share, gather, and act together for good food systems transformations. We stand ready to further expand the partnership with you by supporting additional activities to enhance knowledge and strengthen national capacities to eradicate poverty, boost income generation, foster entrepreneurship, especially among people living in poverty, smallholder farmers, women and young people, and other groups in vulnerable situations. Once again, I thank you all for your valuable contributions and active participation and your engagement in this almost 1 hour, 50-minute webinar. Otherwise, thank you and have a wonderful day. We will stay in touch.